I'm going to say this. Dating in the Philippines has made me not want to trust women at all because the level of excuses and lies that they feel are justifiable. I didn't stay in the Philippines for no more than 6 months.
Do you think the overall demeanor of the women there is just a little bit more feminine?
I agree. It is feminine, but is it a sincere? Is it sincere femininity? Is it sincere where these women could be cosplaying for a moment? I'm not saying that there isn't any good women there. It's just like any, place. There's unicorns everywhere. You just got to find them. I was misled by a YouTuber. His name was the Black Filipino. He's from Queens, New York. I was in the Dominican Republic, living there for 2 years. And I was watching his channel for a long time. And he kept saying, Filipinas love foreigners. Now, when you keep hearing Filipinas love foreigners, he's not saying who. He's just saying foreigners. And as I'm hearing him say this and I'm seeing a few relationships, come into fruition on his channel, I'm like, that could maybe be me. So as I think
he's about to bring up raciness. Let's see.
Up my life and I leave the Dominican Republic thinking that, okay, you know what? Maybe things are better in the Philippines. I was completely and utterly stunned as I walked around Cebu watching these 60 and 70-year-old white dudes.
And that's exactly the point that I just had a feeling that was about to happen.
Yes, of course it's gonna happen, bro. Because you're a black guy and you're going to East Asia. I've got a friend of mine who actually just came back from the Philippines. Yeah. Young white guy, yeah. He told me if you're a white guy and you're somewhat in shape or whatever, you're like a celebrity in the Philippines, bro. You can literally have threesomes, do whatever you like. The girls are gonna throw themselves at you if you're a white guy. This guy here on the screen, he left the DR, which was probably more accommodating for black guys, welcoming of black men. But you left there to go to the Philippines. Everybody knows that Asian women love white guys. Everybody knows that, fam. What, did you think you was gonna be the exception with your Pirates of the Caribbean bandana on, bro? You thought you was gonna be Captain Jack Sparrow, black version, in the Philippines and you was gonna get all the girls. No, bruv. Blockage.
And I told you guys, 2 years ago, when I was in Spain and Brazil and Portugal, your best bet as a black man is to stop fucking going to countries where black people are not the only race or the majority race or heavily dominant. That's why places like Cali, Colombia, Salvador Bahia are places that I loved when it came to specific for dating. But overall, your best bet, and we could even say Lisbon, Portugal, your best bet is going to be in Africa. I've been saying this shit like a broken record for years. If you go to Latin America, you got to deal with this similar issue of white worship where you think you're doing something. And
that's why all these videos where, they're showing Colombia and all of these Cartagena and Medellin and blah, blah, blah. Yes, you are going to get play. A lot of them women, though, are selling box. A lot of those women that you see with these black guys on these YouTube videos, they're selling box. Bruh, like, Africa is such a huge continent, bro. There's different types of women there. But you want to go to countries which don't really respect or look at black people as attractive. Like, let's be real. Let's be honest about it.
Again, there's been times I was hanging out with my white friends in Manaus and in Paraguay and in Sao Paulo, and the waiter was only mean mugging me when it was time to take my order. And there's been times that I was literally talking to women and they were literally looking at my white friend as if I was not saying anything and he wasn't saying anything. They were supposed to be listening to me, but they're literally looking like dogs are watching him hold a bone or something. All their attention is there. And I said, I'm not dealing with that shit. You go to Europe, you go to Eastern Europe, you can run the risk of your ass getting killed or just being a science experiment for some woman to test out the BBC.
This is a real thing. Like, you think that you can just go to any of these countries where they don't really have no black people there. You think you're just gonna go there and sleep with all their women, and you think that it's gonna be easy and normal. Like, bro, no, fam.
You can't find somebody to have a relationship with, but more than likely you're just a fucking experiment. And some dudes are like, oh, well, I don't have a problem being a fetish. Yeah, dudes that don't get pussy say that because they've never had no pussy, so they don't mind getting access to it for one time and having a thrill. But for somebody like me, you know, I want to have something, which I do because I know Z is watching this. I want to have something that is genuine where I don't have to think of that type of shit. I don't want to walk into a restaurant somewhere in Romania and now I'm getting chased out the restaurant by 10 Romanian dudes, because they can't say this is far-fetched because that type of shit happens in Eastern Europe when black men try to date white women. Okay,
them kind of countries, bro. Like, you gotta remember, the law is different there as well. Like, the whole system in these places is different. It's not like the UK. It's not like you're in London or you're in Miami or you're in one of these places. No, fam, you're in a completely different system, bro. Like, the law is not really trying to help you, Mr. Black guy. So these men over there, they're not gonna feel no way. You do anything, you put a step wrong, or even if you're out with a woman that they don't want you to be out with, bro, you're running a risk. You're outnumbered, bro.
It's not a normal thing for that to happen there. Okay, and those dudes are not happy with that. They don't have the same culture as Western Europe.
Yeah.
You don't believe me? You guys know one of my good friends, good friends. I'd even say my best friend, Kid Greatest, was in Czech Republic, I believe he said it was. And a chick waved at him through the coffee shop. He didn't go in the coffee shop and say that. He just waved back and smiled. And 8 of these dudes came out the restaurant and chased him down the street.
Wow.
Okay? And that type of stuff is not happening in Namibia. That type of stuff is not happening in Kenya. Yes, you have dudes that'll be jealous, that'll be saying shit. But for the most part, you're gonna do more blending in than standing out. Yes, we look different than Africans, yes, but you're gonna do more blending in than standing out. It is not considered, as much as the FBAs like to say, a black American having a baby with a Nigerian or a Kenyan is not interracial dating. Anybody that thinks it's interracial dating is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, anyone that says that is an absolute idiot, bro. If you are a black Brit or a black American and you go to any country in Africa, you're gonna blend in more than if you go to the friggin' Philippines, bro. But again, so many black guys, they're so hyper-focused. I want to do interracial dating. Go on then. Let's see how that works out, cuz. And I'm not saying it will definitely fail, but I'm just saying, bro, that there's a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of factors that come into it. It's not straightforward. It's not just black and white. It's not like that, bro. There's a lot of gray areas.
But when you go to certain countries, interracial dating is not preferred. If it was preferred, Thailand would be a mixed country. It would be a lot of Blasian folks running around here. It would look like Namibia. If it was preferred, Romania wouldn't be mostly white. This shit is not hard to understand. But I'm glad that this guy understood that once you get there, a lot of this shit is bullshit. Now, again, some people will say, well, in Africa, Austin, they worship the white man. No, the fuck they don't. When you guys are bringing up African women worshiping white men, you guys are usually showing women that don't have access to clean water, electricity, or access to a damn school. You're usually showing women that are in a village somewhere. Now, do they excuse some behaviors that white men do, and that if we do it, yeah, that is true. You guys see with the whole Russian guy that was having sex with women on camera,
but that happens in the Western countries as well. So, like, when a lot of black people in the West start talking crap about Africans, I just switch off, because I know it's out of ignorance, and it's usually people that haven't left their country, haven't gone anywhere, bro. To be fair with you, yeah, it's people that haven't been anywhere. They don't have no real experience with the people they're talking about. They're just saying some negative rhetoric because they got xenophobic views. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. And a lot of this white, quote unquote, white worship, white men getting allowances where black men don't get allowances. It happens in the West as well. It happens in America. It happens in the UK as well. So, like, all of this is just, bruh, it's just talk. Anyway.
I keep telling you guys, your best bet is going to be to go to... Actually, I'm finna stop telling y'all. Stay in Asia and keep going to Argentina. And I love Argentina, but not for dating. But
Argentina, you know, oh my God. That, if there's one place I know that I've done research and I've heard a lot of men say this, if you're a black guy, you probably don't want to go Argentina. Actually, fuck that. If you're a black person, black man, black woman, you probably don't want to go Argentina, bro. That is not a place where they welcome black people, bro. Yeah, people, that's a little known fact. People don't really talk about that, but I'm going to say it because it's true. No, they don't really like black people over there in that Argentina, bro. That's somewhere I know I'm definitely never going to go, bro. Like, that's that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, again, what Austin says is true. Like, it's in the best interest of majority of black people to date other black people, or at the very least mixed people that are mixed with black and that respect their black heritage as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Like all these black guys are so desperate. They want to get Thailand and Philippines, and they want to get a Filipina woman and that. And listen, again, I'm not telling you lot what to do. I'm not saying that it's impossible and that you can't find a decent woman out there, or Colombian woman or Mexican or whatever. I'm not saying any of that stuff. Or maybe even the Eastern European woman. Yeah. In fact, to be honest, in the UK, there's a lot of black guys that are with Eastern European women, and the women treat the men nicely and all of that. Yeah, I've come across Eastern European like in my own adventures, and they've been all right. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, you go into their land, you traveling from wherever you're coming from to go to their land. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna say.
keep going to these places where you have these unnecessary issues.
But I don't really see any like black guys walking around. And I just started observing like, okay, I don't really see any black guys. I found one here, one maybe there, but they were older guys with Filipinas that weren't as attractive.
I fucking said this. God. I'm glad this video is being made. I think I've already listened to the majority that I need.
Bro, and I've said all of these things as well, bro. I said, listen to what the guy just said. He said, in the Philippines, he sees loads of old white dudes and they're with young Filipino women, good looking young Filipino women, yeah, but he doesn't really see many black guys there. Surprise, surprise, because you're in East Asia, yeah. Then when you did see black guys there, they were older black guys and they were with women that weren't very attractive. Why am I not surprised?
I told you guys in 2024, white men get the best women in these countries or these regions of the world that I was talking about, Southeast Asia, Europe, and Latin America. White men get the pick of the litter because white men colonize the world and they have extreme white worship.
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot. If you go to Thailand, you can.
And it's not about black guys being crap or that because we're shit or we're ugly, or it's not nothing to do with that, bro. It's conditioning, colonization of all these countries, and the propaganda, the centuries of programming against black people in general and black men in particular. Bro, what did you expect, fam?
I remember the first time I went to Thailand, I tried to put on lotion. I bought some lotion, and I was like, what is all this white residue that's left on my arm after I wear it? Turns out it's fucking skin bleaching cream. That's how bad they want to be white. You have women in Latin America that literally have said that they feel like they need a white baby to better their bloodline.
Wow.
And then, of course, in Europe, I mean, they're white, so they're going to prefer white anyway. So, again, if you guys have been to Africa, you know that the ceiling is non-existent with a lot of things, with how much money you can make in Africa and who you can date in Africa. You can date the prettiest women in Africa. I forgot who it was that just married. It was an Ethiopian woman. It was a black American, and she was in the government or something like that, or she was prime minister's son or it was something like that. That type of shit is not happening in Asia and Eastern Europe.
Oh, hell no.
Okay, you don't have access to that same privilege there.
There was no way you was gonna go to the Philippines and then marry the best looking Filipina woman in government woman, bro. Like, that was not gonna happen, bro. It weren't gonna happen, bro. Like, and black guys need to just understand what's going on and make better decisions.